You're listening to Canadian Women of the Outdoors podcast, the first podcast by Canadian women for Canadian women about Canadian women. Brought to you by Revolution Armory. Join the revolution. And True North Baits, superior quality fishing tackle. See what the fuss is about. For 10% off all plastics, use code CWO10. Enjoy the episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Canadian Women of the Outdoors podcast. I stumbled over that. My name's Nicole, I'm the host. Before we get started, big shout out to our sponsors, Revolution Armory, True North Baits, Decoy Daddy, and our newest sponsor, Hot Bucks Huts. Give them a big like and follow. They're awesome. Love them. With ice fishing season coming up, you can use code CWO10 for 10% off all of True North Baits plastics. And make sure you check out Hot Box Huts. They are Lake Simcoe's hottest ice fishing experience. So give them a like, follow. And now to introduce our awesome lady this week. I kind of stalked her on Instagram, not gonna lie. I saw her on our Kent brand ambassador page, and then I was a creep. I was like, oh my god, she looks awesome, I'm gonna go see what she's about, and then reached out and we finally got to connect. So I'd like to welcome to the podcast Miss Kate Mulder. You can say hi.
Hi.
And this is your first podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell you're a little bit nervous. You're fine. It's fine. Don't worry. No, don't worry. Don't worry. You're awesome. I see you comment on lots of stuff on the Kent brand ambassador page. So
yeah, I try.
If you can talk to them, you can talk to those fools. You can talk to anybody.
Sounds good.
So tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up. I seen on your page, you are obviously big into hunting, fishing. What kind of got you into those things? Did you first start hunting? Did you first start fishing? Give us a little insight to and sorry, you look like you're like 22. Am I close in age?
I'm 20, yeah.
Oh yeah, see, I was right. I'm like, she's young. Okay. I was like, she's a little bit of a baby, but
yeah.
But you've done some awesome things for a 20-year-old. So
Thank
anyway, let's hear how it all started.
So I'm from Port Hope, kind of in between Port Hope and Newcastle. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Ganaraska Forest Center, right
Nope.
by there. And I got into hunting and fishing through my dad and my uncle.
The boys let you come out, eh?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Not a lot of women have that. Usually it's the boys only club. So that's great that you had that.
Yeah, so I shot my first turkey with both of them with me, actually. So that was cool. And then deer hunt, turkey hunt, duck hunt. Trying to think what else. Moose hunt when I'm up north. Basically anything I can hunt, I'll go.
So what was your first hunting harvest then, and how old were you?
My first was the turkey, and then I was 12. Whenever you can get your license. I think
you went
got my
right
license in May and went like the next day.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so fishing then too, because I've seen all your fishing pictures. You've been fishing same amount of time then?
A little longer. So my dad has a charter boat, or had a charter boat on Lake Ontario.
Well, that's really
for
cool.
Salmon fishing. So I've basically been going out fishing with him since I was like 5 out there, and then we always like went ice fishing on Lake Simcoe and stuff too. So
because Port Hope, that is just past the Peterborough exit on the 401. Am I totally off there?
So the 115.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about? Yeah, so
I think so, yeah.
You can get off there too, and I'm like 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's not really in Port Hope, it's outside, but it's just the closest town. So.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I'm thinking Port Hope. I'm pretty sure that's there. So you had Lake Ontario kind of right there, and Lake Simcoe's not that too far of a jaunt. And then
it's like an hour, a little bit longer sometimes, depends.
But you also have all the Kawarthas up there too.
Yeah.
Did you fish a lot of the Kawarthas or anything like that growing up?
Not really, because the fishing kind of sucks.
All right,
Crappie
then.
fishing's good, but like, especially now after fishing up north, I will never walleye fish any of the courses again.
So, okay, jumping into that topic, you say you fish up north. Your family owns a lodge,
Yes, it's
so
called the Kinta Lake Lodge, and it's in Long Lac.
and
So
that's
2 hours past hers if you're like going towards Thunder Bay on Highway 11.
oh, so you're like almost close to Manitoba border.
No,
Like,
not quite.
oh,
We're
my
closer.
geography is terrible.
We're closer to down here than Thunder Bay. Like Thunder Bay's 18 hours from here.
Oh, so you're just okay.
Yeah, we're 12, I think. Yeah, exactly 12 door to door.
And now, is that a lot of backwoods lake fishing, or are you guys on one specific lake?
Yeah, so our lodge is on one lake, Margot Lake, but we only have trout. We have splake and rainbows in our lake. But all the walleye fishing and pike fishing and stuff is all back lakes.
So, do you guys, as like your lodge, do you offer like guides and stuff to go out and take those people fishing?
Not for the fishing. If it's some people's first time, then we'll take them just because we have fun doing it anyway. But most people have been there like for over 20 years, the same people coming back. So they kind of know more about the area than we do. So we'll go out with them too and just explore. Like there's so many lakes up there. We have boats on 13 different lakes. And like we haven't even fished all of them ourselves. So
that's crazy. I totally feel what you said though when you walleye fish up north. I fished in Vermilion Bay, just at a Dryden there, like an hour past Dryden. Yeah. And the walleye fishing is just, it's something else up there. We were catching them on just jig heads and minnows. And
yeah, that's all we use.
And just in decent size walleye too.
Yeah.
Like, you were catching your limits in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
if that.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, okay, well, and you got to keep them alive. It's like, okay, do we put some back to replace? Like, what's going on here? Like, the walleye fishing up there is just, and we did something where it was like, you drive an hour into the bush, or to the bush, and then you pack mule it, you throw your motors and everything on your quads, and then like another half hour through the bush to this random backwoods lake.
Holy crap.
Oh, it was insane. Like, I would love to do another adventure that far north. Like, you're so lucky that you get to experience that. And you guys just shut down the lodge for the winter?
Yeah, so we're open May long weekend. That's when walleye opens up there. Yeah. So we're open May long weekend till the last Saturday in October. We're open for the moose hunters till then, but not many people come to fish then because it's like cold fronts and stuff. The fish kind of turn off a little bit depending on the weather. So
you guys do offer hunting up there, or?
Yeah, we do bear hunts for I guess US and Canadian customers too, but most of our customers are from the States.
As it usually is for those lodges that are that far north, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's kind of not like fully guided, but we do all the baiting like right from May till August when they come, and then take them out, put them on their stand, and then if they shoot a bear, we'll do the butchering and everything for them too. So I'm always busy with that.
I was gonna say, when we were talking, you do a lot of the butchering, like.
Yeah.
Now, is that kind of diving into the next topic? Is that because of some of them do like use you for taxidermy purposes, or just practice for you type thing, or just because you like doing it?
So right now, I only do birds for my taxidermy, but I am going to learn how to do game heads, and then that's kind of my idea, is to like offer my taxidermy to them too. Maybe this is kind of my plan. It's not
business plan?
set 100%. Depends if I like doing game heads or if I'm just going to stick to birds. But I think it would be cool to like offer them to mount their bears for them or whatever. And then lots of them are also repeat customers. So I could be like, oh, okay, it'll be ready next year when you come pick it up.
Which is pretty smart business. Like, or like, hey, you get a 10% discount if you come back next year and book another hunt.
Yeah.
Like, but that's actually cool that you do birds, because like the amount of people that do birds is few and far between. Like, it's so hard, I find, to find someone to do birds and someone to do it well. And I've seen a lot of your work, and at the end of the episode we're gonna hand out your socials so people can see, but your bird quality is quite fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm pretty, and for you only being 22, like, how long have you been doing or interested in the taxidermy side of things?
I think I mounted my first bird in like December of, trying to think of what year, 2022, I think. And then it's actually funny because I enter the Taxidermy Association competition at the sportsman show. Yeah. So this guy that I actually followed on Instagram, he got into it through his dad, I believe. And then he messaged me and he's like, oh, you should sign up for this. After I posted my second duck, he replied to my story. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I guess. So then I started looking into it. And then I think it was probably only like my 10th duck I ever mounted. And I want to say 9th and 10th duck. I put 2 ducks in that year. And then I got the highest place in my category. So I just went in the novice category. And then, so that was last year, 2023. And then obviously I had to stop in May because I don't do it when I'm up at the lodge. I only do it for 6 months of the year.
Oh, really? Okay.
So basically I've only been doing it for like a year and a bit straight. I guess.
You're already winning awards.
Yeah.
I mean, so like what kind of like meticulous work, like when you mount a duck, like, because obviously like from when I've taken my ducks to get mounted, I give them the full duck. Like, all the yumminess on the inside and everything. So like, do you have to go and gut the duck, or like?
Yeah, so people will bring me in a frozen bird and then I'll thaw it out and then skin it. And then, so it's basically, just the skin. And then I have a fleshing machine. I'd show you, but it's down there. I have a fleshing machine. It's basically a wire wheel that spins on a motor. And then you flesh out the duck. It takes all the fat off. So then it's just the skin. So it's super thin, especially for birds. Yeah. And then wash them and mount them.
Do you have like molds that you put that skin on? Like, is that how that
works? So before I was carving my own bodies, but now since I've got
casually, like, I only just started, I'm just gonna carve my own stuff. Like, you just went full out, eh?
I'm Dutch, so I'm cheap.
Oh my god.
So I didn't want to pay $20 for a body, so I carved one and took 2 hours instead.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my god. And I mean, that's the greatest answer I've ever heard in my entire life. So how many of those did you carve yourself then?
Probably 10. I don't want to say 10. And my uncle's a taxidermist too, so he does mammals.
Oh, really?
That's kind of how I got into it.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, how did you, like, you just decided, like, oh, I want to just mount dead things. Like, I mean, that's kind of, I've always had an interest in dead things. I've just never, I don't have the space to be able to take it to the next level and mount my own dead things. I just like having dead things surrounding on my walls.
Yeah. So, I was on the hunt one time and my ex-boyfriend shot a really nice mallard that he wanted to get mounted. So I told him to take it to my uncle, and it sat with my uncle forever. And then I said, it was coming up to Christmas time, And I'm like, oh, that would be a pretty cool Christmas gift if I could maybe get it done. So then, but my uncle's a big deer hunter, so he didn't really want to help me. So I started keeping ducks for myself, like just crappy ducks, whatever. And then I was looking on YouTube, learned some stuff on YouTube, skinned them, fleshed them all myself. And then my uncle came over and he's like, oh, that's pretty good. So we mounted this mallard up for my ex-boyfriend's Christmas present. And then I posted on my Instagram. And since I posted on my Instagram, I had people messaging me, oh my gosh, you do taxidermy? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, yeah, but just for myself. This is only my first bird. So then after I did a little more, then people started reaching out, and I'm like, I could maybe do this as a business.
So when you're doing like the heads of the ducks, like do you have to like buy heads and then put their like do painting and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I buy now I buy artificial heads
because you're no longer cheap.
I just don't have the time, but even still sometimes like all ducks aren't the same. I actually have a pretty cool hen mallard in the freezer right now, and I take measurements off of their bills. I'll hold them up against the artificial ones and make sure they're pretty close, but this one isn't close at all, so I'm gonna have to clean it out and then use the real bill, which is what I used to do for all my birds. Yeah. Because I was cheap. So, but yeah, most of the time I just buy them and then paint them up.
It's very true though. Like all ducks are so different. Like I have a stud redhead mounted that was like, I've seen my buddies shoot redheads and they have them mounted, but mine is just, it's a stud. I can't even describe it. It's the most beautiful duck I've ever shot, like full, like, oh, just,
yeah,
it was a beautiful, and it was funny, it was the only duck we shot that day, and 3 people missed it, and then I shot it, dog retrieved it, brought it over, I was like, holy crap, like, I need to get that thing mounted, that thing is a stud. But then it took forever to find somebody to do birds, because people post birds and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh no, like, it's an art form. And the fact that you do as well as you do, like I creeped your face or your Instagram. Like your work is fantastic. And like we were talking about before we started recording, you just went to, well, not just, a year ago you went to Texas and did a course.
Yeah, so
was it a course or?
Yeah, just in January I went to Texas. So through the Taxidermy Association, I met this guy named Kevin Hockley. He's from Bancroft. He's really good if anybody wants to get any mammals or anything mounted. I'd also refer him for birds too, but I'll do those.
I like
it. So he told me to follow this guy on Facebook, and then he has like a bunch of DVDs to learn how to do taxidermy.
Really?
And then I seen him make a post that he was doing classes. So then I reached out to him, and then I'm like, yep, let's do it. So my mom and I went to Texas. My mom did all her shopping. Well, I did my course, and yeah, so it was a week.
I was gonna say, how long was it? So yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that full like Monday to Friday 9 to 5 type thing?
Yeah. I think we maybe even started at 8 and went till 5. Yeah. I don't know. It was fun, but at the same time, I just wanted to go shopping, but we were in this little town of Texas, and everything closed at 5. So by the time my mom came to pick me up, everything was closed, so I couldn't go shopping.
Now, was that strictly birds or?
Yeah, so his name is Matt Smith, and he only does birds, and he's a judge and everything in the States too. So yeah.
That's crazy.
I've definitely noticed an improvement since I went there, so it was worth it.
Now, are you going to go like back again? Is there like other courses you take, like different levels of like?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm assuming obviously like ducks are ducks, and then you get like the pheasants or turkeys and stuff like that. Like, have you done a turkey yet? Like a full turkey type
Yeah.
mount?
I have done full mount turkeys. I have one to do again, but after that, I was gonna take a bunch more, but turkeys are just so big.
I was gonna say that's a huge jump from like a little duck to like a friggin'
Yeah.
turkey.
And I think I'm just good at ducks because I love ducks. Like, I obviously love turkey hunting too, but ducks are just so cool. Like, how a wood duck can be so colorful. Well, basically any bird, but wood ducks especially. So.
Oh, wood ducks are like, they're my favorite, most beautiful birds ever.
Yeah.
So is that your favorite hunt then? Is duck hunting or?
Yeah. This year I haven't really been as much because I've been deer hunting, but hopefully.
Did you get a deer?
No. They kind of just disappeared off my camera, so.
Oh, I think they disappeared from everybody. Like,
yeah. I think I've had 3 does at my camera and then a little like spike buck, and it has like a crooked antler, but I won't shoot him. And then I had 2 nice big bucks coming in, but I think it was because one of the does was in heat, because it was like for a week, and then they started coming in like middle of the day, a couple times a day. And then I went and I sat the other night, and the one came in, but it wasn't the big one, so I didn't shoot. And then after that, they came that night again at like whatever 12, middle of the night, and then never came back again. So I don't know.
Now that's in your area where like you live? That's
yeah,
that
like
area?
just at my house here.
Oh, your house. Okay.
Yeah. We have just under 70 acres here, so.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Just go out back and
Yeah.
take a walk and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Now, the stuff you harvest, obviously, like you're fishing, hunting, everything. Like, do you eat a lot of that?
Yeah.
All of that? Like that's so what's kind of your favorite way to prepare? What's your favorite thing to eat? And what's your kind of favorite way to prepare such a thing?
Gross is really good.
Yeah, it is.
I do a bunch of different stuff with the gross. Sometimes, well, I've made butter chicken now twice with the gross, and it was amazing. That's
using wild game with butter chicken. We've done that with turkey. Like
yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah, it is. Especially like lots of people don't like to eat the spruce grouse because they're like a little gamier. You can't even tell the difference in that. Mm-hmm. So and same, I make jalapeno poppers with grouse.
Yep.
So that's good.
That's a staple, 100%.
Yeah, and then just like regular bacon wrapped on the barbecue.
Bacon makes everything better.
Yeah.
Bacon is just, it makes the world go round. And do you eat your fish then, like your walleyes and stuff like that?
Or? Oh yeah, bacon wrapped walleye, deep fried, whatever.
Bacon wrapped walleye, eh?
Yeah, really good.
I can't say I've tried that. So, when you're fishing like up north, do you do shore lunches and stuff like that? Like,
we haven't. We've been talking about doing it for a long time.
Get a cast iron over the fire and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's more of a pain in the butt to haul everything out there. Really,
that's very true. How long have your folks owned that lodge for?
So this past season was our 2nd season with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're up there, you said, from May to September, October?
Yeah, the end of October. So basically November.
So what's that like living way the hell up north? I'm assuming, like, again, groceries and stuff like that. Like, how does, like, what kind of towns do you have grocery stores close to you? Or do you just kind of live off what you're catching and hunting and stuff like that? Or, like, how does all that work? Because that's pretty far north.
Yeah, so Long Lac, the actual town, is like 15 minutes from the lodge. Okay. It's really small.
Do you have a gas station?
Yeah, there's a gas station. There's 3 gas stations. So
well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So the grocery store is more like a convenience store there than anything, and it's really expensive.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I can imagine.
so most of the time we'll drive to the next town, which is Geraldton, which is 45 minutes. So when I go there, I do like a huge grocery shop. Everything I need to do in Geraldton, I get in Geraldton, and then don't go there again for a month.
Oh, so you'll shop for like a month at a time type thing?
Yeah. And if we have like friends coming up to the lodge and stuff, my mom will go do a big Costco shop down here or something and send it up too. Just the price difference up there is pretty crazy.
I can only
So,
imagine. I know, like we're on the way to the Bruce Peninsula. Like we live on the way up to Tobermory, and
okay.
the price difference in groceries, even just up here. Like I grew up in the city,
Yeah.
and then as you get farther into like the Lion's Head, Tobermory, like the prices just get jacked up, and because there's no choice, people don't have a choice,
Yeah.
and they can get away with it. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's absolutely crazy. So do you guys have like a house on the lodge property, or like
Yeah,
you
so
have your kind of
there's
own lodgings essentially?
there's 9 cabins for guests to rent, and then we have our own cabin house thing too, so
And you guys have like cooks and everything on staff? Like
no.
I'm only just learning. I stayed at my first like lodge like just this past just like a month ago,
Okay.
September.
Where did you stay?
Waterfalls Lodge, just Spanish, just outside of Spanish, Ontario there.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so it's just outside of Spanish Ontario. Um so and they had like a full out restaurant, again, multiple cabins and everything like that. So like that was my first like lodge experience. So it's definitely it is totally different when you fish that way.
Yeah,
Um
for sure.
or like go hunting or whatever it is you're doing up there. So you guys don't have like any sort of kitchen or like people just kind of bring their own groceries type thing?
Yeah, so all of our cabins are fully equipped with like full stove, everything like that. So everybody brings their own groceries and then does their own thing.
See, I would much prefer that than having to do like go because they include it in your like meal plan. It's like X
Okay.
amount of dollars and you get the meals, but it's like, well, I'll just take the money off and I'll cook myself.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the whole point of you. And most of the cabins were equipped with stove, fridge, everything like that. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's really cool though. I might have to research your lodge. Do you guys have like big wait lists and stuff like that, or like?
We have some empty spots for next year right now, but lots of the same people, like I said, they'll rebook. So like May long weekends always fully booked because it's the opener. Um, Same June's pretty booked. Some weeks in July or some spaces left, but yeah, we do have a wait list too. Like say you wanted to come May long, I would put you on a wait list, and then if somebody happened to cancel for any reason, then I would call you up. Hopefully
Come
you
on
come.
up. Now, do you guys go up like a couple weeks early to prep and everything like that? Like
um, so
when you
that
say like you and your family own it, do you have like staff or is it like family and you guys just do it all yourself?
it's just my dad and I and my uncle up there. Um,
Okay.
my uncle does the bear hunt stuff, so he'll bait the bears and everything, and he helps me butcher and stuff too. But other than that, it's my dad and I that do everything.
So like laundry, cleaning of the cabins and everything like that.
Yeah, so as for the laundry, we only have like fitted sheets on the bed, so it's
Okay.
not really that big of a deal. Most people just bring a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Since COVID, that's what the old owners did. Way easier because they were doing laundry for like the whole week.
I can only
But
imagine what that laundry bill would be.
yeah,
Like,
we're on a generator anyway, so
mhm.
it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah.
So what's like your favorite thing about going up and spending time at that lodge? Put you on the
Probably,
spot with that one.
I know. There's a lot
Because
of
like
good
that's a
things.
long time. Like you're there, like especially if you're there from like April, May to like October. Like that's a
Yeah.
long time to spend. Kind of like, do you come down to visit?
Last year I came down once. This year I didn't come down at all.
Wow.
So
Do you ever
the
get
good thing
cabin
about
fever?
it, no, the good thing about it is that I met my boyfriend up there. So he lives there. He's actually the old owner of the lodge's nephew.
Oh, okay.
That's how we met. So yeah, that's definitely helped out in that way.
Well,
Not be
that's
so cabin fevery.
so. Is like obviously. Would you ever consider just moving up there permanently and just saying like, "See you here"? Like,
um, yeah, I would move up there, but I would always come down here to deer hunt and duck hunt, probably.
well, is there much deer up there?
There's no deer there.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was gonna. That's what I thought. I've heard like that far north, there's like not much deer.
Yeah, like by Dryden and stuff, there's deer. So people from Long Lac will actually go deer hunt in Dryden. I think
Okay.
it's like roughly 8 hours from there.
Oh crap! That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so and there's not too many deer. Like it's nothing like hunting down here. So
So have you shot a bear yet? Then
not a bear, no.
is that on your list of things to do, or just not something you're interested in?
Yeah, I'd like to. This year we had like a blonde one, cinnamon bear on camera.
Really?
So like that kind of thing I'd like to do, but I'm not the biggest fan of bear meat.
Oh,
So
really?
I'll
Okay.
eat it, but
See,
yeah.
I mean, I love bear. I love moose is still my favorite. Like,
Yeah, it's good.
yeah. Do you guys have a lot of moose up there? Like, have you had a lot of successful moose hunts?
So last year there was 3 successful groups. My dad's friend shot one in our group, and then 2 of our gun hunters shot moose. And then this year we had 1 group from our gun hunt, and then my uncle shot ours. So
Now,
they're around, but it's hard because everybody goes up there.
yeah.
Like especially for the gun hunt, the bush is so packed. Like I hunted last year with my boyfriend and his family, and that's a little better because we go later in the season when there's snow on the ground. And like people from down here aren't up there as much because now we're talking like end of November, beginning of December before the season closes.
Yeah.
So there's more of a chance, I think, that way. Like first week's always good because they could still be in the rut, but if you're pushing the bush with the gun, then it's better with the snow, I think.
Now, for the lodge, like, do you guys offer moose tags, or do the people coming up apply for their moose tags, hope they get it, and then go hunting there?
So most people apply, hope they get their tag, and then they'll call me. Yep, got the tag. I'll take the cabin. Because we only get 1 bull tag for the archery season only, and 3 cow tags for archery only too. So we don't have, we don't have any rifle tags at all, and the archery tags like book up pretty quick. It was the same group taking the bull tag for like the last 10 years. But then they couldn't make it this year. So then I actually got it to someone else. Now they're going to see if they can draw their own tag next year. If they do, then that's good because then I can get more people into the lodge with the bull tag. But if not, then I'll give them back the bull tag for next year. It's kind of a pain in the butt with the new tagging system and stuff because
That's what I was wondering. So, like, do you have to apply, like, as a lodge owner? Like, is that a separate type of application type thing? Or just because you're registered as a business lodge and you do that, you get the tags?
No, I'm like 99.99% sure we apply for it every year. And then it stays roughly the same, 1 bull, 3 cow tags for the archery hunt. And then if we wanted more rifle tags, we'd have to trade 3 archery tags for 1 rifle tag.
Wow.
Yeah, so that part's kind of crazy because then instead of having 3 different groups, and then you'd only have 1.
I don't know if I'd really want to shoot a moose with like a archery though. That'd be kind of like if they turn around, if a big old bull turns around and charges at you, you probably want a gun in your hand. Like, that'd be
Yeah,
a little
we
scary.
only archery hunt them, so
Yeah, like that would have to be one hell of a shot and just drop it right away for it to.
yeah,
That's just the thought of that is absolutely terrifying. But
yeah,
moose is like my favorite thing to eat. Like it to me that's one of the best wild game meats.
yeah.
Do you guys ever see like wolves and anything up there or hear them or?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of wolves there. Like, it's crazy how many of them get on our cameras at our bear baits. I don't
Really?
know if they're licking up the grease or what from there, but and also lots of customers see them like when they're driving down the road. This one group this summer seen 8 just on like the middle of this bush road, but this bush road's pretty busy. It's almost like a highway in the middle of the bush. And they seen 8 altogether in a pack. So
Damn, that would
yeah,
be like does anybody hunt the wolves when they're up there or just
no,
you just kind of leave them be type thing?
yeah,
But oh my
so,
god, I would cry. Like even just hearing the howls would be super cool. Like I bet I don't know. The idea of like being that far north, like especially all summer too, like I can only imagine the type of like beautiful sights you see up there.
yeah. The wolf howls are kind of scary. Last year it was November, so I was staying at my boyfriend's place before I came home, and I was taking my dog for a walk. And back then he was this little puppy. We were walking down this one kind of bush road, and the wolves were going crazy in the bush, like right beside us. I was a little bit scared then, so we didn't walk too far.
Like right beside you.
Yeah.
Like oh, like
I'm like, let's go.
now has it started snowing up there like yet or was it
They had ones. Well, we had like a light snowfall when my dad and I were still there. And then since we left, they had one decent snowfall, like ankle deep, and but everything's melted. It's been so warm.
now are you big into ice fishing at all? Like are you an ice fisher girl? We
Yeah,
didn't really touch base on that yet.
yeah. Ice
So
fishing is probably one of my favorite things to do, especially up there. Um, like in the
have you ever stayed
summertime.
there in the winter? Like over the winter?
Yeah, so last year I was only home for like 3 months, like home as
Damn.
in down south here.
Yeah.
Um, so I came home, went deer hunting, went duck hunting, got all my birds mounted, and then went back up. So we did a lot of ice fishing last year, my boyfriend and I. And that's probably my favorite thing about up there because at least it's safe ice. Like
Oh
here,
yeah.
like even in February when we get our ice, it's like, okay, 4 inches.
Well, did you see how
Sometimes
many
it doesn't
people
get
went
that.
through Simcoe last year?
Yeah. I didn't
Like
even go to Simcoe last year.
neither did we. Like I seen all the bikes and even people driving with their trucks on Simcoe. I was like, "Are you out of your mind?"
Yeah.
Like they're literally saying it's not safe.
Yeah.
Like we ended up going to Kirkland Lake, like
Okay.
up that area to go ice fishing because there was really nothing around here.
Yeah.
Like we went to Lake Cooching for a day. That was decent
Okay.
ice, but yeah, no, Simcoe looked like a mess. Like just the entire season, it looked like an absolute mess out there. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that like I can only imagine you probably get like super thick ice up there, especially if there's small lakes too. They don't take as much to freeze, right?
Yeah, it's actually funny because last year it wasn't like too cold there compared to previous winters, according to my boyfriend. Um, and he was kind of mad. We barely got any snow. Um, and he's big into snowmobiling and stuff. But it was funny. We went ice fishing there, and we were on like 3 feet of ice. And he's like, "Oh my god, it's only 3 feet of ice." I'm
It's
like,
only 3
"I've never
feet.
fished on 3 feet of ice in my life."
Right? Like that's like from like toe to like hip.
Yeah,
Like that's a lot. We're used to like maybe what 12 inches max down here. If
yeah,
that, like even when we fish Nipissing, it hasn't been that much, but 3 feet, like
yeah,
your
exactly.
auger's about to go through because it might not even reach it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
So
when you're ice fishing up there, are you targeting like the walleyes and stuff like that, or
yeah,
yeah?
mostly just walleye. We'll go out for the night, catch our limit of walleye, come home, cook it up, go out again the next day.
The fishing in Northern Ontario is just people who haven't experienced it just it's so, even like again when we went up to Kirkland Lake it was like boom tip up off going off tip up going off it's like oh
Yeah,
my god like it's kind of like fishing with dynamite but you're not actually fishing with dynamite there's just it's such a plentiful population up there
yeah.
like it's just so is walleye your favorite fish to target then just because it's
Yeah, up there, yeah.
yeah it's
I
up
like
there
salmon fishing down here too. Like, my dad and I, we're big into the tournaments down here
oh really
as
that's cool.
well. So, yeah. Um, so I kind of miss that, but at the same time,
So have
it's
you
fun
done
up
like
there.
the Ontario Salmon Derby and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we were in the salmon derby, and then we also did like the tournaments, King of the Lake, King of
Okay.
Kings. So those are like actual tournaments, weekend tournaments,
Yeah.
with 40 boats, and then it's capped off at 40.
Yeah.
Um, so that was fun, but it's a different type of fun now.
I I love salmon. I don't go salmon fishing near as much as I should. I love eating salmon. So
Yeah,
I'm and I will eat a Lake Ontario salmon. If it's not out of Hamilton Dofasco area, it's fine.
yeah, we
That's
eat them all the time too.
well, and I mean, I know, like, so again, I grew up in Burlington and like that Hamilton where Dofasco is and stuff like that. It's a little sketchy in that area, but like if you're up your area, like that's
Yeah,
I wouldn't have issues eating salmon there. Like,
yeah,
and I have, and it's absolutely delicious.
we
We are
do.
nearing our time mark here.
Okay.
Um, so I just want to thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me. I know you've had a busy fall and we took a little bit to connect there. Um, I'm really excited to see where your taxidermy goes. I'm really pumped about that.
Thank you.
So for our listeners, where can they find you on the socials? Do you have like a taxidermy business account or is it just
Um,
not yet?
so I have a Facebook page. It's called Kate Mulder Studios. Pretty
Okay.
unique. um,
Easy. Okay. So I'll make
yeah,
sure I tag that. Yeah.
I might eventually change it. I don't know yet. But as for Instagram, I just post on my personal account, which is Kate Mulder Outdoors, and then I have a little highlight section for my taxidermy.
Okay.
But I'll probably eventually get an Instagram page for that too.
Now, are you going into the sportsman show competition again this year?
Yes.
Like, will we see you there?
Yes.
That's exciting. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
I don't
So,
know what I'm doing yet, but
before I just completely let you go, so how does that work? There's different levels, and like obviously, so is there like bird category, like novice, intermediate, advanced type thing, or like how?
yeah. So there's novice, hold on, professional, masters, and then division of excellence, which is basically the masters of the masters.
Oh
So
wow.
this year
Okay.
I went into the professional category.
And you've only been doing it a year.
Yeah.
A year, like hardcore.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. That's awesome. Like, good for you. Because, again, birds are hard. I will definitely be looking for your work this year. Like I said, I've seen it all on Instagram, and I was like, damn, like, it's so hard to find people that can do birds, like, and do them well. I've seen some jacked up birds, like, especially all over, like, you've seen on Facebook all those, like, duck and goose hunting groups in Ontario or whatever, and people post pictures of their taxidermy. Some of them are jacked.
Yeah.
Like,
Or the bad taxidermy group, everybody posts in there.
I haven't seen that group.
That one's my favorite. You have to join it.
I would probably cringe because it would drive me nuts. Like, you spend, because again, taxidermy is not cheap. Like, it costs to get stuff done, and people were like, "Oh, well, that's expensive." I was like, well, if you want it done well, like, that it costs to have stuff done really well.
Yeah, it's also hard too, though. You can't make everything look good, so prime bird is key. Like, obviously, if you're shooting a duck opener in September, it's not going to look as good as a bird shot last week of duck hunting in January, January 7th.
Yes, I have actually heard that. Like, the ducks you shoot earlier on in the season, you shouldn't mount.
Yeah, so they're full of pin feathers, and they'll basically fall out.
Oh, okay. So the redhead that I shot, that was, like, I think first week, end of November, beginning of December.
Oh, perfect.
Like, that's the good time to get it done then. And like, it turned out immaculate. Took the gentleman forever, but that's fine. I got it back like 2 years later, but I was like, okay, like, you did really well with it. Like, I can't complain too much. Also, it was like during COVID too, so.
Oh yeah.
It's not like I could travel out and be like, oh, hey, like.
Yeah, at least you were happy with it after the 2 years and not like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I would have been so
I waited
upset.
2 years for this.
Oh, I would have been so upset. And I am very picky with taxidermy. I'm like, if I'm going to pay to, like, I have fish mounted, and I had them sitting in my parents' freezer for probably like 2 years before I picked somebody.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I wrapped them so nice and like perfect though, because I was like, I need to make sure these are wrapped because I don't want them ruined. But it's going to take me a bit to find somebody because I didn't want to do a replica. I just wanted to hand them the fish and be like, here you go, do it.
Yeah.
And then I finally found somebody in Cambridge, of all places. And he did an amazing job. Because again, not a lot of people do fish mounts like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, awesome. And now I have another duck person that I can send my ducks to. I have a Buffy in my freezer, so maybe I'll send it your way.
Sounds good. Yeah, fish are hard. Like, you said not many people do birds, but there's less people that do fish.
Oh yeah,
I think. Like,
and the fact, so he actually offers replicas and like the live skin mounts. So that's why I was like, okay, well, here you go.
Yeah.
And it turned out amazing. And he barely put, like, it was just a fluke that I found him. Like, because he's not one of those active guys on social media. He's an older gentleman. Yeah. It's just, but he's so good. It's kind of like word of mouth type thing.
Yeah.
He always is at the taxidermy booth at the Sportsman Show, but yeah. But yeah, really good dude. But yeah, it was nice to find somebody to do my fish. So
perfect.
But anyway, yeah, sorry we ended up tagging on a little extra there. Thanks again for coming on. Looking forward to maybe actually like meeting you in person at the Sportsman Show.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of nice. I think Kent is going to be there, and I think I might be working the booth at some point.
Sounds good.
But anyway, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for
again. One more time, your handle on social media for all your taxidermy outdoor adventures there.
It's Kate Mulder Outdoors.
So make sure you give this young lady a follow. Again, her work, from what I've seen on the socials, is fantastic, and all her outdoor adventures. You also have the cutest dog.
Thank you.
I'm a dog person, definitely a dog person. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week. Thanks, guys.